Pisces, welcome and great to see you. Pisces, this is your Pisces October 2021 reading and forecast. Great to see you. Hope you're doing well and great to see the subscribers. Much love and affection to you always. It's my great pleasure to see you. You're dear to my heart, as you well know. And I don't normally say this because I know that you're an astute YouTube viewer and user, but if you do happen to like the video, then smash the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're here for the first time and you like what you see, and also maybe consider, as many people do, sharing the video with their friends to see, so they can see what's in store for you as well. Now, by the way, also, I'm going to take 5 cards. Now, by the way, I've done a number of readings for Pisces people, and if you'd like a one-on-one reading with me, check out the information in the description box below. But these 5 cards that we're going to take now, because 5 is all we need, each card has so much to tell you that, haven't you found that if we had any more, we would be here for an hour, and we are not going to do that, so we're going to take 5. Now, what is there first? See what this is. There's a 10 of Cups. What a beautiful position for that as well. There's the 3 of Wands. Magnificent. What a great card to see that is. There's the 5 of Wands. Very interesting picture that, I think, particularly given me. There's the High Priestess. Now, the High Priestess. Beautiful card for you in particular. And this is the Herald of Swords. Well, why don't you now? I think you're going to dig this artwork on this card, on these cards. Dig. You're going to enjoy them. I'm not that old. Now, let me say, come and sit down next to me. We'll have a good close look at these cards together while I do the reading for you. Then now I think you can see them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's have a look at this 10 of Cups first, shall we? This is an interesting painting on here. Well, it seems that the mighty hawk itself pays its respects to the sacred tea ceremony. This is Mars ruling the 3rd decanate of Pisces. And it is for me, she is the lady of perfected success. Mars in Pisces. Well, Mars is disruptive. And we might think that that can conflict with peaceful Pisces. But Mars and Jupiter get on very well. And Jupiter being your ruling planet, I think it tones down any aggravation that I would ordinarily expect to see with Mars coming into Pisces in this position here. So I think that this is a period for you of emotional stability, maybe some people getting their dream home, a happy family unit, and your dreams becoming a reality. There's a great degree of satisfaction and fulfillment radiating from you here. Beautiful energy coming around. There is a great degree of emotional passion and vitality as well. But this is a 10, it's a 10 of Cups, and 10s are unstable. They become unstable. They start to shake because the energy of the spirit coming through the tarot is about to move into the next suit after this, and it's going to go into the Ace of Swords, which will provide a great moment of clarity. But there is a fleeting sort of happiness that's here as well in some aspect, even though you're very emotionally fulfilled and there's a general happiness and well-being around you. And that fleeting happiness, one that is short-lived, is something I think that it relates to something which has lost its ability to fulfill you, I think. And I think that might relate to, I'm getting consumer things or fashion. You may have bought a dress or a handbag or some shoes. You may have got a video game or a cell phone or something like that, which you say, I really wanted this. This is going to make me feel great. But what happens is you get bored with it. And then you say to yourself, why on earth did I do that? You think it will make you happy, but then you get bored and you want to move on to the next thing. Now, in a relationship setting, it can sometimes, I think, relate to the loss of pleasure which the relationship brings. And I'm not talking here about something that necessarily is a marriage or a committed relationship on a romantic sense, but it could relate also to a social relationship, or could relate to a work-based relationship with a partner in business, or where you're dealing with a supplier or a prospect or customer or something like that. There is a loss of pleasure in what that relationship brings. Therefore, you either have to alter the dynamic of the relationship or move away from it. It's not that you're not happy, but it's that you're full. You know, it's filled you up. It's as if there's no more satisfaction and enjoyment that can be provided. Now, I'm not one in favor of moving away from relationships, so my suggestion is to expand the bucket to, if you can imagine a bucket beneath a faucet and the water pouring from the faucet into the bucket, well, what happens is the bucket ultimately becomes full, and then the water, the emotional satisfaction from cups, the water fills over the sides. So what you need to do is to expand the bucket to allow more to come in. I'm sure you'll know what I mean by that. Let things develop by themselves. Everything comes to you at the right moment. It really does. And I guess, what does this fullness mean for you in this situation? Relax, close your eyes and breathe deeply and calmly. Let a picture arise in you which shows you in a state of complete fulfillment. And repeat this exercise often and connect this feeling more and more with your reality. And say to yourself, life gives me all that I need to be happy. Now let's see, there was actually, isn't it interesting that this card is sitting beneath it and acting as the foundation for it, for that 10 that is, and it is this, the High Priestess. Well, let's have a look at her, the High Priestess. I'd say this, that we don't receive wisdom, we must discover wisdom for ourselves after a journey that nobody else can take for us or spare us from. Now, the priestess here is a teacher and a guide. She has closed her eyes and seen the mysteries of the universe revealed before her. She will tell you that the key to understanding the world may only be found along the path that leads towards inner illumination. Yet she is wise enough to know that you may not listen to her. The High Priestess speaks only in truth. And for many, that truth is much more unbearable than the ignorance in which they dwell. To heed her advice is to see things for what they truly are, but often that clarity of vision exacts a heavy toll. Now, I very much have the moon associated with the High Priestess in this situation here. A lot of the moon around her. Well, the moon represents cycles, doesn't it? And going with the flow of life. It can tell you, I think, here, that, now I call her the priestess of the silver star, incidentally, speaking of illuminations and objects in the heaven. This is talking about access to your intuitive powers, I think, and a sense of healing of yourself, a desire for independence, and an increasing self-confidence is going to come your way now. I think there is also, look, it wouldn't surprise me if you didn't have some sort of psychic awareness during this period. Certainly, I think that you will be going within from time to time to discover your own truth. Stay in touch with your spirit guides. There's a great degree of emotional stability around you. She is in touch with her intuitive abilities and can trust them completely. She perceives and is connected with her own voice, the internal guide and healer. Now, this shows outwardly in her, let's have a closer look at her again, in her trust and responsibility to herself. Now, like the camel, which can travel long stretches in the desert without water, you, when you have discovered your own inner spring, also radiate a satisfied sense of self-sufficiency. You find fertile oases in the innermost reaches of your being. The more you accept yourself and share with others, the deeper the clarity of your perceptions will become. I think what she is suggesting to me also is that she can represent here a platonic friendship that you have with someone. So that is a friendship which is not romantic, but from which you derive a great degree of joy. That relationship is one that is going to deepen and strengthen. There may well be a period of alone time during this month where you sit down, and that's not for the whole month, but you may take an hour or something, or half an hour, and just sit down, clear your mind and work out what you really want and let your mind process things. Now, you know that changes on the inside are necessary to make changes on the outside, don't you? You need to connect with and be more confident with your intuitive and feminine side. Now, I counsel the men, don't throw up your arms in shock and horror at that. We all have a feminine side, as do the ladies have a masculine side. It's just that one aspect of our personality and makeup predominates over that of the other. But I think that this is a time for you to go with the flow in life and keep things in balance. You now have access to your intuitive powers, I think. So develop them more fully and guard your independence. Are there areas in your life in which you allow others to influence you rather than you trusting your own intuition? If that's the case, stop it and seek out water as often as you can. Meditate near water, or if you don't meditate, even just look at it, watch it, listen to it, and learn from it as much as you can. Put these thoughts into your subconscious during this period. I deeply honor and value the human being that I am. I am intuitive and perceptive. I trust myself and honor my sense of integrity. I trust my intuitive abilities. Well, let's have a look, shall we? What's up here? I like this painting, whatever this might be. Oh, it's sort of a horse. A horse, it seems to me, that is on a sacred duty. Well, I call it the Lord of established strength. Now, this is the sun in the second decan of Aries, the 31st of March to the 9th of April. This is talking to you of you having a great degree of virtue during this period, integrity, honesty, and I'm pleased to say self-confidence. And I don't think that you're going to be making any compromises about anything. I really get the sense of ideas crystallizing, and this is a confirmation really that you are on the right path for you. If you have a small business, and it's been difficult for everybody with a small business, I think business might start to expand. Or what may happen is a hobby for some people may turn into a business. Well, the sun in Aries. Well, the sun is also exalted in Aries, so this placement is very favorable. And Aries enjoys a challenge, and Aries suns are happiest when their lives are moving forward and active. I think you're really now getting some more direction in your life, really more direction where you need to apply your efforts in order for you to be the best and to be of the service to yourself and to those around you, and actually to the world at large. You must understand your virtues and trust yourself to make the right decisions in your life and not be held back by fear. This is looking inside and outside with integrity, honesty, and no compromise. It might also mean that you need to check the integrity of someone else during this period, and that person may be an Aries. I'll just mention that in passing. It's important for you to operate from a place of integrity before making any decisions of the moment, and to have clarity of mind and heart before acting to bring about the best results. And unless you have clarity, don't act. But if you do have clarity, now is the time to really move things forward. So pay attention to your own point and internal stillness. Center yourself and overcome. Are there any reasons for self-doubt? Really? Do you let doubt creep into your mind? Do you yet doubt your virtues? And if you are not centered and feel doubts lingering within, let them work. Let that sun that's there in Aries illuminate the way forward for you. And say this to yourself now: I have the power and virtue to reflect and to know. Now, when we have the ability to move forward with things and centered and focused, of course, we sometimes run into opposition, and we sometimes run into competition, I think, is what I'm getting around you at the moment. And it's not something which is acute, but it's something I think that's sitting around in the background. Oh, looking at him, even though we could not see our combatant, we could feel his presence. This is the Five of Wands. Now, what's important about this? Well, first of all, it's Saturn in the first decan of Leo. Now, Saturn and Leo really just don't get on, do you know? The number 5 also is, for me, mystically associated with the planet of Mars, and numerologically it represents instability, exaggeration, strife, changes, sometimes, some losses coming about. This is not to say that you're going to have losses, but I'm just mentioning that as an influence in the energy that's coming through here. Because as I say, Saturn and Leo don't get on. Now, Leo wants to be creative and express itself, let's say. I mean, we know that for a start. You know Leo people, Leo friends, and that's what they're about, among other things, isn't it? Now, Saturn, funnily enough, Saturn is seen in both Hindu and Western astrology as being the great malefic, that is the planet that really brings bad things. Look, I don't subscribe to that myself. Saturn has a very important... Saturn can be very detached, but Saturn there's no bad planets in my book. There are no bad planets in my book. What Saturn can do is Saturn marshals you, guides you, pushes you, makes you go back onto the path that you were meant to be pursuing. Now, that can often be painful. It can often be annoying. It can often spoil the fun. We want to stay at the party, but then we've been told, well, look, you really need to go home because you do need to get some sleep because you do have that presentation or meeting tomorrow morning. So Saturn has your interests at heart. It's just that the way it acts can sometimes mean that it comes across in a bad way. And so many people depict Saturn as being cold, dense, and wants to set boundaries and limits. Now, Leo is a fire sign, and this is a fire suit, wands, and added to by the fiery energy of Mars here. What happens is that Saturn comes along and metaphorically wants to dampen down all of this fire. And so we have astrological discord in the energies that are there. So it may well be that you feel that there is some restriction or some unfulfilled desire during the month. It's not to say that the desire won't be fulfilled. It's just to say that it may not be fulfilled at this time. And you may feel that you are vainly striving towards acquiring something. You might, for example, be in the middle of conflict or a tension or a competition, and that is impacting on your ability to move forward with what you want to get. Now, sometimes, of course, conflict can be really positive because it makes you adapt. It makes you become smarter. It makes you become more efficient. It makes you become quicker. It makes you, become a better way at presenting yourself and going about getting the things that you want. And I think what this is doing here is this is pointing towards a competition with somebody who has similar qualities or experiences as you. You might be in competition with somebody who is as attractive as you are to win over somebody else. You may have competition with respect to a job or within the workplace. There may be competition even in your social environment as to who is to take on what sort of a role. Now, you may not have had to face the fire of competition before, but now you will learn what it means and more particularly what it requires. In this situation, the danger of resigning yourself or just giving up is great, but Saturn reminds you that all things must be taken care of step by step. Don't let yourself be overwhelmed. Always look again to the flames of the Wands suit here, which burn on despite impediments. And I think that when you have drawn this card in the center of the spread here, this is telling me that you are ready to face this situation and do something about it and to prevail. Now, what insurmountable obstacles seem to stand between you and the realization of your goals? How does the mountain of duties and tasks which stand before you look right now? Just go step by step. Take everything a little easier and say to yourself, I am more and more capable now of expressing my feelings and my creativity in work and social situations. Okay, let's see, to finalize, is it? I think it is. This is always one of my favorite energies, and what a great position it is underneath this Three of Wands. Here we have for you, look, here she stands, the harbinger of attack. There's a lot of Pisces in this. I also think the Capricorn and Aquarius may well be important to you during this time. Now, as the herald, esoterically she is earth, and in the suit of swords she is air, so she's the earthy part of air. Now, earth and air are enemies and they weaken each other. If you can imagine a tornado, what effect that has on the land, or a hurricane, or a cyclone, or a typhoon, or the winds that are whipped up in the monsoon season, there's a conflict. So there's a conflict in her nature. But the implication of earth in air is that she deals with situations involving the mind in a very tangible way. That is, she can manifest her thoughts and turn them into a reality. I think it's possible, just be aware of this. This woman here is, I think, stern and revengeful, very firm and aggressive, but very skilled in the ways of the world. Her character is stern and revengeful. Her logic is destructive. But she has great practical wisdom and subtlety in material things. She shows great cleverness and dexterity in the management of practical affairs, especially if they are of a controversial nature. That is, if there are arguments around affairs. She's very good at settling arguments and controversies. Now, if it's somebody that you know, and as I say, it could also be an Aquarius or a Capricorn here, but it could be somebody else that's in your circle. People like this can often attract troubles and they can be an unhappy person when it comes to practical and material matters, actually. all the fine qualities of air are weighed down and suffocated, and such people can appear as children of misfortune. But this herald here, she's the type of person who can throw everything overboard, blow everything sky high, and ultimately it turns out that they have chosen right and that they gain their reward. Now, it may be that you are thought to be very outgoing in your manner during this period, and you'll be able to get your ideas grounded in a tangible way. Now, sometimes, though, it talks about someone who's fighting battles internally and externally. And it refers to, I think, someone who follows their own bent rather than serving another. And as I say, in due course, it seems that they have chosen right and they do get their reward. Now, this could be following the heart or following a lifestyle, maybe becoming an entrepreneur or starting your own business. But it seems because of the sword that she wields that such activities won't be plain sailing from the start. But putting in effort and staying smart will bring its reward for you. Your thoughts and visions during this period may destroy some holy altars. Don't let yourself be buried by the flying debris. Don't allow your moods to take hold of you, but remain true to your ideals. What old altars are present in your surrounding, in your life? Have you the courage to destroy them? Look inside to see if your rebellion is rooted in love. And say to yourself, my rebellion is positive, constructive, and creative. Well, that's the way it is for you this month. Well, there you go, the month of October. Wasn't that fascinating? I thought it was fascinating anyway. I think it's going to be a great month for you. Things happening, things moving forward, things cleaning out inside, making you bigger, stronger, faster, and ready to take on the world, leading up into this season to come. Now, until then, though, and until next month's reading, there's one thing that I want you to remember, and remember this always, and it is that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. Until then, it's bye for now.